Michael, when I spoke to you on Sunday, you were looking for clarification from the officials about what happened with Ethan at half-time. You got a clear picture now?
Yep. No, from the referee side, we've got the report, we've got all the detail, and we've dealt with that internally already. That's for us to discipline. That's for us to sort out internally, and we've done that. And Ethan's been disciplined, and you can't let that happen again. Can't get the emotions run over like that. But we've sorted that internally as a group and as staff and with the player.
I've only known you just over a year, but talking to you post-match and people watching the videos have said similarly, you came across as genuinely upset about what had happened and a bit angry.
I wanted to be aggressive. I wanted to be front-footed, but we're professionals, and we have to be aggressive in our game, but we have to be control, and it tipped over too far for me, and we have to get control of that as athletes and as players, and it's for us to sort. And those things can't hurt us so easy, especially when we're away from home against a big club at a big stadium. But these things happen in football, and not only is it a tough period with games and Christmas schedule, it's the mentality in League One that you need to be successful. We need to be stronger. So, they're very, very disappointed by some incidents, but we have to move on and we have to keep fighting for points.
Just finally on that, are you confident the message will get across? Because, to be fair with Ethan, it is a track record. He does get yellow cards for those types of things. Are you confident that you can get that message across?
Yeah, the message is loud and clear for me. The message has been given loud and clear. I'm confident, but ultimately, they are responsible for their actions on the pitch. That's the reality. They're professional footballers, and not just Ethan, but everybody that plays the game. They have to take control of the situation, and of course, at times people make mistakes, but you have to get control of it. And like you say, we have to get control of that. Ethan has to get control of that. And it has to stop doing it. That's the reality, and he has to stop doing it, or he's not going to, do very well for us or do very well in his future. So that's important.
It's obviously a difficult run, as we talked about, one win in 10. Can you put your finger on what is going wrong? Because it feels like you just can't seem to turn that corner as a team at the moment.
Yeah, I think certainly we've been travelling away a lot. We've been on the road a lot, and we've got centre halves out that we've had to dig in, but wherever you take your data points, interesting, because you could argue that where we are this time for half a season, we're doing okay, but the last few results haven't gone our way. But we've been in most games, if not every game, and we're trying to move forward and develop. We've just not been able to click it into wins, which is disappointing. And that's where we need the mental strength. That's where we need to trust the process and what we do. And all we can do is keep working, and we are working, doubling down on things to work really hard, because I think a club of our size will always go through a moment in the league, and there's not very many clubs that don't go through a moment. Some had it early on in the season, and people were like, they've not started well. We started well, and we're probably just having our moment where there's lots of games at once going, and it's really difficult to get out of that rhythm when you can't. But we've just got to keep working hard, and hopefully, try and turn it on Wednesday, is it, the next game, to try and get a result.
Is the league, apart from the top sort of 3 or 4 who appear to be getting away, much closer? Because I looked at the league table from a year ago, and broadly speaking, you were about the same sort of points and position. But this time around, you're a lot closer to the playoff places than you were a year ago. Yeah,
I think if you look at it in context of last season to this season, we're actually doing quite well. It's just the last few games we're not doing well enough, if you like. But I think the difference between this league, the reason it's harder is because games are closer. When you look at it, the bottom teams can beat some of the middle teams. The middle teams are beating the top teams. So what's happening, because the league is tougher, everybody's beating everybody more. And so every game that we go into is a really, really tough game. Whereas probably you could argue a couple of games last season, most teams would look at certain aspects and think they were easier games. There's no easy game this year. It doesn't matter who we play. For a club of our size and what we're trying to do, every game's a tough game, and if we're not quite on it or we get caught out, then you lose games. But we've got to turn those losses into draws and draws into wins, and that's our challenge at the minute, and we've got to get through this tough period. But I think a club of our size will go through tough periods in League One. It's how quickly we can turn it, really.
Quick turnaround in terms of having played Rotherham, just over a month ago?
Yeah, really quick, and we know what they're about. And again, it's going to be a different type of game than Bolton. It's going to be a different type of game than Shrewsbury because they're going to ask different questions. We know what questions they're going to ask in their physicality and how they go about their work, and we've got to stand up to that. And we can't be caught on the set pieces and the things that happened last time, and be ready for what they're about to give us. But in the same sense, we're at home, and Reading we were really good against Reading, and they've gone on to win. Get some momentum, get 2 more games. So at the minute, like you say, the league is really tight. You get 2 wins, you're up there. You get 2 losses, you're down there, and that's properly happening all over the place. But we just need to keep focusing on the next game, the next game, after that, the next game, and just keep trying to go into every game and try and get something from it.
After the interview, the sort of after the game last time against Rotherham, you described them as being a bit naughty in some of their tactics. Obviously, we've seen what happened with one of your centre halves in Adam Jackson. Are you expecting that same sort of thing?
I think it happens all over the pitch. I think it's part of football. I think it's part of League One. I think we just need to make sure that we, and that's part of the frustrations and the emotions the lads need to get control of, because it's happening all over the place at every game. Not always you can see it from further up in the stands, but there's always bits going on all over the pitch, and we have to stand up to that, and also we have to stand up for ourselves in certain moments, but without losing control of our emotions. And that's why the game is aggressive, and it's 22 men fighting against each other on a football pitch, but at the same time we have to keep calm, keep focused, keep what we wanted to do, but not get bullied.
And just finally, in terms of selection, obviously you're going to have to make do without Ethan, who's been almost regular for you this season.
Yeah, we're going to have to make do without Ethan because of the situation. We've got Lewis Monsma, we've got to think about again. We've got a couple of illnesses in the camp, so we've got a few things going on, but we've got enough in the squad and in the depth of the squad to go and get a result, and that's our challenge.